JoJo has a lot of amazing characters, and most of them are pretty well fleshed out, but there's a few who are kind of underdeveloped. With a lot of characters, they either appear in multiple fights, appear in multiple parts, or have a big part to play in the story. But in my opinion, in the anime specifically, because I haven't seen the manga, the most wasted character out of the whole story is Fugo. Fugo grew up relatively rich, and he also had an extremely high IQ. Because of his high IQ, his parents put a lot of pressure on him academically. He always had to learn quick and make no mistakes. Always being pressured into succeeding and not having any room for failure, stress began to build within Fugo. Due to the expectations of others crushing Fugo, he would sometimes experience fits of rage, and sometimes he would come close to the breaking point and almost kill his father. And right when Fugo is at his boiling point, one of his teachers comes in and tries to take advantage of him. Someone that he respected and trusted tried to violate him. Fugo snaps, killing him, bashing his skull in with a book. Fugo's parents would use their vast wealth to keep him out of prison, but they would treat him like filth and disown him. While struggling to survive on his own, he would come across Bruno Bucciarati. Bruno at the time was considering making his own squad. He would ask Fugo to join, but Fugo would refuse at first, saying that he sometimes gets angry and hurts people, and he's afraid that he might snap one day and try and kill Bruno. Bruno says, well, let's just see if that happens, and he says that he's going to bring out the best in him, including his rage, and Fugo joins the team. Fugo would easily be the most intelligent and book-smart out of the squad, and he would occasionally act like the voice of reason. One of the members of the team was Narancia, and I'm gonna be honest, he's kinda dumb. He's not very good at math, and he's also just not smart in general. Fugo, being the smartest of the squad, took up the responsibility of teaching him. Narancia just gets a simple math equation wrong, and holy fucking shit, he's about to fucking kill him. I don't think he was actually gonna kill him, but holy fuck, that's a massive overreaction to him just getting 2 plus 2 wrong. This is like that fucking meme where it's like, doing homework with mom, doing homework with dad. You may be wondering, what's Fugo's stand? Throughout the series, we get to see multiple fights with all the other characters, and with Fugo's, we only get to see one. Which definitely isn't a lot, but I actually thought this was a good idea. I just thought it could have been executed way better. His stand is constantly angry, and its virus spreads like crazy. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, inside its knuckles are these like little capsules, and when they explode, a virus comes out. And it fucking kills people. And it doesn't discriminate either. It can fucking kill his own teammates. That's why he almost never uses his stand. It's quite literally a last resort. If he would have used the stand more often, then the team probably would have been long dead by now. Abakio even explains that Purple Haze is the personification of Fugo's inner rage and his violent nature. It represents how he has this deep hidden rage inside of him that can lash out at any moment and hurt anyone around him, including the ones that he cares about. And him not using the stand often is not only because, well, it can kill his whole team, but it also represents how he tries to hide this rage, and it's really hard to. It's hard to hide something that is inherently part of you. About halfway through part 5, the gang discovers that the real villain is their own boss. And to stand up for what Passion believes in and to stand up for what's right, they have to go against him. Everyone becomes a traitor to the boss, except for Fugo. They aren't mad at him, they fully understand, but they have to go do what they think is right. Choosing to not go with Passion and remain out of the conflict, Fugo leaves, and this is the last we see of him. Wait, that's it? That's it? There's no more Fugo? Well, there's Purple Haze feedback, but that's not really, like, confirmed to be canon or not. Plus, some of the things in the anime kinda sorta contradict with it, so I'm not even really gonna touch that. I might just mention it later. But that's it? That's all Fugo had to offer? He was such a cool character, but he just didn't really do much. And for the second half of part 5, yes, the second half of this whole ass part, he's just gone. No more plot relevance and no more character growth, no more exploration of him. We see a little bit more of him in Sleeping Slaves, but that's basically just a cameo. This isn't how Fugo's story was supposed to end. What if I told you that Araki had something else planned? Something interesting. I'm not sure if I even need the transitions anymore since these chapters are becoming like 1 minute long. Hey, do me a favor. Take a listen to Fugo's theme from the anime real quick. Fugo's theme is horrifying, perfectly representing his inner rage and the danger that comes from his stand, Purple Haze. This theme instantly fills you with dread, letting you know that something violent and malicious is nearby. This is a theme that should be used to represent a monster that will destroy everything in its path, or even a cold, ruthless supervillain. But Fugo's a hero, right? Araki's original plan for Fugo was to have him be a traitor to Passion and try and stop and kill them along the way. This was such an interesting idea that never happened in JoJo before. Like, imagine if Polnareff was just pretending to be one of the Crusaders and he turned on them later. While writing Golden Wind, Araki was going through a bit of a rough time in his life. He was kinda depressed, and he just thought this would be too heartbreaking to actually have happen in his manga. He couldn't imagine Fugo, who is such a good friend to the rest of Passion, betraying them. And while I can definitely understand and sympathize with that, I feel like this last-minute change kinda leaves a big hole in the narrative for Fugo. He just kinda leaves in the middle of nowhere. I personally think it would have been a lot more interesting if he did come back later on to try and antagonize the team. Or at least have him come back for the final battle with Diavolo, either serving under Diavolo or joining with the team again to fight Diavolo. Maybe he serves Diavolo at first and he's like, nah, fuck this, these are my friends, and he tries to poison him. What if they're fighting a villain later in the part, and it doesn't really matter which one, but Fugo shows up again, and in the fight, he holds the villain and poisons both himself and the bad guy. And he sacrifices himself to save the rest of the squad or something. And then he says something like, I was such a coward. I wasn't willing to come with you guys because I was afraid I would be killed by the boss. How can I be your friend if I'm not willing to die for you? And then he sacrifices himself. That shit would go fucking nuts. But honestly, I feel like he just had so much more potential and something could have been done with him. Who knows, maybe we'll get an animated version of Purple Haze Feedback. Or maybe if they animate Purple Haze Feedback, they'll make all the necessary changes to have it fit into the canon? I don't know, man. I just want to see more Fugo. I just want to learn more about him, man. He's so cool. It's just, he barely does anything. There's a lot of characters in JoJo that I wish I got to see more of. There's a lot that had a lot of potential, but they were squandered a bit. But out of all of them, I feel like Fugo was JoJo's most wasted. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, consider joining my Patreon for just $1 a month, hit the bell notification, and I hope you guys like my content, and stay tuned for the next video, and I hope you all have a great day.